Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. We understand, may there be happiness for all. Do we understand this happiness is the essential nature, intrinsic nature? It flows naturally, we need not to create it. Yes, you are very near to awakening. No, you are too far. You are too far from it. Why we don't do it? We will talk about it. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all, including me. It means everyone has this peace. Everyone. None is spared. How my mind responds then? Will my mind respond with an ego in a linear fashion? Answer is no. When I abide in peace, first thing, when I discovered it, second thing, and then I discovered peace in everyone. Can we say it is an awakening? Yes. But we think that awakening is something like mystical with occult powers. Occult powers that I have, you don't have, or you have, I don't have. Some magical power should also be uh, demonstrated. It has nothing to do with the spirituality and awakening. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness or self-fulfillment be there. Self-fulfillment. So there are two parts. One is the desire fulfillment and other is the self-fulfillment. Did we contemplate on that? Self-fulfillment. Desire fulfillment. There is no end to the desire fulfillment. No end to the desire. So, as such, there is nothing like desire fulfillment. Today, my honey will agree to me, will say sorry to me, and tomorrow I will force him or her. And desire fulfillment. Today I have only $5. Tomorrow I should have 50. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam. May there be auspiciousness for all. So auspiciousness is always there. I have to recognize, I have to live consciously, I have to get rid of the delusion which the mind has created. If these delusions are not gone, we may be attending these sessions for even 20 years, no change. I have to change myself, my perception, my understanding. Perception means my understanding, my perception, my knowledge, and then we have to live into it. When that happens, we are there. Now you can open your eyes. So, if you think it is a ritual, it will not work for you. If you think it is a serious stuff that you apply, it will definitely work. So, yes. Yeah, Christina came little bit late. So I'm not talking about something mystical, magical, some form of that you are walking on the fire, you read the mind of others, and then you are spiritually awakened. Yes, you are paying attention to me, your eyes are open, you are not sleeping. I believe so, Ashok, you are not sleeping. Okay. He woke up immediately. So today I am taking an incidental diversion again. I believe you all have to pay attention, 100% attention. So you can awaken today, here and now, if you transcend the ignorance today, just by listening to me. That is the highest teaching of Eastern wisdom. So incidental, I'm taking an incidental diversion today. First, I give you an example of that. You are flying. What you have to do to fly from Arizona to Paris. What is the first step? Do you apply for a passport or do you get the picture first? Think, just think. So be with me. Don't sleep. When I say don't sleep, the Ashok smiles. So except Ashok, you all are sleeping. Pay attention. Starting with a simple example, simple metaphor. So you see the straw stepwise. It's a linear fashion we work in the objective world. In the spiritual world, it is a multi-dimensional world. But now come to Arizona to Paris. So we get a picture, and now today I forget. Oh, maybe after 2 days I will get the picture. Then I fill the form, then I apply for the passport, then I apply for the visa, then I buy the ticket, then I board the plane, I land up to the Paris, I visit, I return back. Linear fashion. So in that process, you got the ticket, no, you got the picture, you forget the picture. The first part is over. In spirituality, first part is not. They are all associated and linked. That is why we say it is a multidimensional awareness. We need it. Krishna, are you getting it? Are you already? You are an expert in what? So in getting from Arizona to Paris, each step is almost fast. You skip one, you won't board the plane. You have to follow the checklist. You cannot have a checklist in awakening. It's a multidimensional. You follow the checklist, soon you are strolling along. You are going to the Eiffel Tower and you return, enjoy. So this is the metaphor I'm using for understanding what exactly is awakening. Paris, and even the streets are non-linear, represents non-linear living nature of inner growth. That is our spirituality. The intellect is like a map. It helps you to navigate. But let me first go directly. How do you see me? You see me through your eyes. What do you say? I see you. You are giving a talk. Or I see I am giving a talk. It means I am the body. Say yes, I am the body. Right? I am the body. Now, my experience that I am tired. I have more energy. So I am the energy body. But I continues to remain attached to the body. I am the body and I am tired. that impression continues to remain there. If the impression, I am the body and I am the energy, both are together, that is how I represent myself, that I have a low energy. So I continues to remain attached with it. So I am the body also, I am the energy. Second part is very important. Do you see the energy? That I have low energy or high energy? I don't see it. Incidental diversion. Do you see that I have low energy? Yes, maybe you can make a prediction that yes, this guy seems to be tired because of the gesture, but you don't see the energy. When you say you are upset, you are the mind. When you say you are upset or you are happy, you are the mind. Do you see the mind? You don't see the mind. I will teach you a lesson. Do you see what it is? It is an ego, but I don't see it through my perception, my eyes, my mind, I don't see it. Now, what I'm going to say, did you understand this, what I'm saying? Did you understand? Say yes. So, where is your understanding? What is that? Do you see the understanding? Do you see the understanding? No, understanding means knowledge, it means awareness, it means consciousness. Am I right? Understanding. No, your face does not become red if you understand, and your face does not remain black, if you understand or did not. It has nothing to do with the body that is changing. Say, for example, today I say David is here, and tomorrow, instead of name David, I call David as a Dennis. It doesn't work. Knowledge is knowledge. It is not always, knowledge remains the same. Knowledge does not change. Are you clear? If you have a wrong knowledge, that has to change. That means we are already in ignorance. Clear? So understanding, awareness, knowledge. Understanding, awareness, knowledge. It is simply without consciousness, without awareness, you don't have the knowledge and understanding. Are you clear? Christina, are you clear? But I don't see it. It is not visible through the sense organs. Mind has very little role to play. Now tell me, I am the body, I am the energy, I am the mind, and I am the ego, and I am that knowledge also. Out of which one is permanent, unchanging, and the rest are temporary. I am the body, it keeps on changing. I am the mind, it keeps on changing. I have low and high energy, it keeps on changing. Only that knowledge means that awareness, and that means that consciousness does not change. You abide in consciousness, you are awakened. Ashok says, why you are making me bore and fool? I'm feeling bored, I'm feeling sleepy. Our master did not teach this. Why you are teaching this? Do you abide by your name and your gender? Tell me. Yes, I abide by it. Why don't you abide by the knowledge and understanding? Why don't you abide by that awareness, that consciousness, which is unchanging? So when you abide by it constantly, all the time, even in deep sleep, if I cry, David, you wake up, you wake up. But I don't abide by that consciousness. I abide by the body, I abide by the mind, I abide by my problem, I abide by which everything is changing except the consciousness. I'm speaking, behind it there is an awareness. I abide by that consciousness, not what I'm speaking to you. I'm already there. Are you understanding? When I say, I am the body, behind the body there is an awareness. I abide by that consciousness, not the body, not the name, not the form, not the energy, not being upset, not to the ego. I'm already there. Where is the problem? Where is the problem? Can I know the body without awareness? Can I know the waves without the water? Can I know I am upset without awareness? Can I know I have a low energy without awareness? Can I know that I have an egoistic movement without awareness? Millions of waves, different layers. I abide in awareness. And if I abide in that consciousness, that is one way to understand what is. It means you abide in consciousness or you abide in awareness when? When? All the time. Where? In all the locations. With whom? With everyone. We abide in it. That presence is always there. Whether I'm talking to you, I'm not talking to you. Uh, that is always present. Permanence. Tell me if it is not. It is always there. If you get it, tell me. If you don't get it, tell me. It is always there. Because instead of the water, I pick up the wave and then I start the quality of the wave. It is small, it is big, it has less energy, it has more energy. I fall into ignorance. So our master says we have to guide you through the three bodies, we have to guide you through the five koshas, we have to guide you through the if this is the ignorance, mind has entered into the impurity, this is the delusion, and then we give you, oh, here are the six treasures. You understand these six treasures so that your mind consistently abide by that consciousness which is unchanging, which is permanent, which is present anywhere, everywhere, all the time, in all the locations. So self discovery breaks a rule. There is no linear movement. You may be taught detachment at the beginning, or in the middle, or at the highest level, depending on the current state. So that is why we have 3,000 texts. One text starts with teaching you attachment, and others start teaching with your discernment. I presented in a linear fashion the teaching moves through the successive identification with the body, energy, mind, means emotions, intellect, understanding, then I-ness and my-ness we discussed about it. Are you understanding? Tell me yes. When you say yes, do you see that understanding? It is different from you or it is you? I am the body. No, it is my body. But when it comes to understanding, it is the awareness. It is me. I cannot be without it. I may have low energy, high energy. I may be upset. I may be attached. I may be detached. I may have the ego or I don't have the ego. But I cannot do without that awareness. I'm simplifying, trying to simplify. I hope that I'm conveying the message to you. This is. So now I consistently abide in that awareness. Consistently. Naturally. Why naturally? It is already there. How can you say it is already there? Do you know your body is? Yes, I know. That very knowing is awareness behind you, behind the body. Tell me if it is not. Oh, in deep sleep, I know that I had the body. Can you ever say? Can you say? And see the other situation. You had a very fearful dream. The moment you wake up, the dream is gone. So if you say, what you're talking is like a dream, can you say that? Can you say that? No. It is still there. When you are listening to me half-heartedly, so the mind is not paying the attention. So you are not understanding. You claim you are understanding. That is your I-ness and my-ness. But behind that still there is an awareness. You don't recognize it. You don't abide by that awareness. That is unchanging. That is permanent. You abide by the mind, its impurities, its delusion. You abide by the prana, the energy. You abide by this body. And then we continue to suffer. The one's real nature as a pure awareness is present here and now all the time. Because mind raises millions of questions with a doubt, with attachment, with delusion, with duality, with a conflict. To solve all these, the masters laid down simple principles. Let us understand the body. Body keeps changing. Why you say I am the body? When you say I understand, why don't your mind abide by that awareness? Instead, you bring the body also along with it. That I am the body. I have a low energy. I feel that is why I'm feeling sleepy. That is why I'm not paying attention. That is why I am upset. The waves may be small or less, or high tide or low tide. Water is the same. There is no change in the water at all. Do you think H2O becomes H3O? H2O remains H2O. You have a high tide, you have a low tide. You have a dirty water, still it is H2O. Can you see it? When I say see, can you become aware of it? with that very awareness is you. But I can, I'm the body, I'm pure, I'm impure, I have a lot of problems. You make me crazy or I make you crazy. Unnecessary, we continue with it. When you live, you abide in that awareness, you have a tremendous energy. And by regular, when you really abide in it, you will start reading even the thoughts of the others and yourself also. You can transcend the ego easily. Pure awareness level, when that I am consciousness, I am knowledge, recognition of pure awareness as your nature. So now you get a glimpse of the awakening, and from there the journey takes few weeks and months and years depending on you. You reach to a point. Buddha was stoned. We got the awakening. He taught his 1, 4, and 5 of his friends who was with the previous master. And then what happened? Then Buddha started teaching a gathering and people stoned. Because he taught that you are awareness. Oh, this guy. Yesterday my dad died and he's saying that you are awareness. What kind of person he is? They stoned. So your mind settles into that awakened state is what the realization is. So when it settles, then you see the people, how the people ask the question, then that teacher guides you accordingly based on the teachings of the text. So it took him a year about, and then he started teaching. Then there was no stoning on him, no insert. Same thing happened with the Jesus. Same thing happened with the great masters. But there is a possibility that Socrates' wife could not understand this. My husband is awakened. Why? He is my husband. Husband is related to the body, to the mind, to the ego. That is what I am saying. I am the body. When you understand, why don't you declare that you are awareness? Why you take along your body with you? Are you getting it? Where there is a transition, I am not. Ultimately, that awareness you need. Non-linear path of very precise journey is the self-discovery, because the mind has created so much of impressions it carried forward, that layer of the ignorance and delusion. So the masters gives us the model of 3 bodies and the 5 koshas and the energy and the impurity and the delusion. Awakened state means it is already there, which I have realized. Happiness is already there. I am of the nature of happiness. Finished. You are in extreme anger, property of the mind, but awareness is also present. So when I recognize, because of that awareness, manifestation of the mind in this quality has taken place, I step back. I don't know how much you have understood. Yes. Now let us participate in this. That is why it is taking the time. Otherwise, there is no time. It's one. So last point, one great master, Ashtavakra, यदि देहं पृथक् कृत्य चिति विश्राम्य तिष्ठसि he is telling the seeker, if you separate your body from you, how do I see you? I am the body. That is how he explains, I am the body. Now, when you say you are upset, you are the mind. Why you carry forward that identification that I am the body and I am also the mind? So it takes long time for you to understand. Understand awareness, understand knowledge. So you are separate. So this is what the master is saying. If you happen to separate, they are already separate. One is changing and other is unchanging. You cannot mix up changing with unchanging. Mix it. Show me. So if you have yadi deham prathak kratya chiti vishramya tishtasi, if you separate, separate through how? By understanding. If you separate your body from you and allow the mind to rest within, allow the mind. He uses the second phrase. Yadi deham prathak chiti vishramya tishtasi. Mind is resting. Mind is not jumping here and there. Not why? Because of attachment, identification, because of the ego. It is jumping so fast. Then what happens? Master is saying, I'm not saying anything. I'm not teaching anything from my own. Be very clear. Yadi dehan. So what he says, adhunaiva sukhi shanta. You are in peace and happiness when? Here and now. Not after a year. Here and now. And if you continue, bandha mukto bhavishyasi, you release the bondage, you are free. That state is known as awakening. He did not talk of some magical power or the occult manifestation in the awakened people. It's normal. Yes, let us participate. What you have. Yes, Dennis, your reflection first. Dennis, I gave the same talk in a little different way, in where the Dennis translates.
Identifying with the knowledge and declaring that I am awareness seems easy. After all, I heard the principles or read them, and intellect says I understood. So when I abide in the understanding of the principles, it seems like I am the knowledge at this very moment, and therefore I have to be awakened. But I am not. So why? I think it is because the mind at the same time abides in things other than knowledge. For example, there is some pain in the body and part of the mind goes there. So that part of the mind abides in the body at this moment. Or some thought about the past comes and part of the mind goes there and abides in that thought. And the more different thoughts, experiences, feelings, emotions we have, the more parts of the mind abide there, leaving only a fraction of the mind to abide in the real knowledge. So in presence of these many thoughts and experiences, the mind is unable to fully focus on the knowledge. It is scattered across other things other than knowledge. And this is what we probably call impurity of the mind, when the mind cannot 100% focus on one thing, on the real knowledge, and identify 100% with the knowledge. And this is why we are learning to witness thoughts, feelings, experiences, but not abide in them. So we can 100% abide in the knowledge and get awakened.
Beautifully you have explained. Beautiful. You see that? Because the mind simultaneously identifies with what is changing, whether it's the body, mind, thought, feeling, emotions, ego, etc., etc., etc. So that is what the impurity is, ignorance is, delusion is. So the masters have thought of it. Oh, let us follow a step by step. Let us first make your mind believe that there are some inner treasures, 6 inner treasures. So your mind, instead of jumping around, it goes back to you within, and it is focused, it is purified. So that understanding, you abide by that knowledge. If one point, one sentence that is striking, if I abide by the knowledge 100%, that means ignorance is not there. And if I abide by knowledge 100%, I'm already there. I'm already there. Don't start thinking I'm talking of a dream. I'm already there means you are with yourself. That is why it is taking time. Yes, Stephen, what do you have to say?
Definitely gonna have to listen to this a couple of times. But what I'm understanding is we need to abide by what is permanent, and what is permanent is consciousness, the real self, and our awareness. And going back to the metaphor you started with, flying from Arizona to Paris, there's a knowledge that you have to have in order to achieve that. And the Eastern wisdom is systemic knowledge to make us aware. And if we lean into the awareness, we know we're not the body. We know that anything else other than the real self, consciousness, and the awareness is changing. That's not where our focus has to be. And if we just focus on the awareness and knowing that that's not where we need to be, then we're there.
Beautiful.
And so again, I have to listen to it a little bit more.
Beautiful. When you say, oh, now my mind is focused on what is permanent. So what I need to do to know what is permanent and what is not permanent, I need a power of intellect. That power of intellect is the discernment. And then what is the second step? I have to detach myself what is not permanent. So that is how it is another approach. It aligns with what Dennis says. So that is what we are doing in these group sessions. We are learning systematically structured way to reach to that state. Yes, David and Jerry.
Thank you. I absolutely love the lesson. I love, the explanation of the Arizona to Paris, the linear approach, and it's the learning. It made me realize. I now realize that the journey you're taking us on is what I would call a foundational type learning, and I can equate it to building a house. You have to build the foundation, then you build on top of the foundation. You can't, go directly to the walls and the light fixtures in the house. You have to build. And so the learning, it just gives clarity to the learning approach that we're doing, which I really appreciate. That's very dynamic. The understanding, awareness, and knowledge was really great. The one thing I'm just struggling with is maybe inserting discernment in there so that all of those journeys that we're aware, we're understanding the right thing, we're aware of the right thing, and particularly knowledge, because your point is, which is permanent, but there's some knowledge that's not permanent that may be caused by delusion. So I don't know if you have thoughts on that, but that's my observation. Thank you very much.
Yes. David is there, and next day, instead of calling him David, I say Dennis. Third day, I say Christina. Fourth, no, it will not work. It means that knowledge is not right knowledge. It is the ignorance. That is what we do every day. Today I'm upset with you, day after I'm happy with you. You see the change? That is, both knowledge are not knowledge. One example. Body keeps on changing and I'm the body. How do you say what is changing that you are the body? You don't have a right knowledge. You are living in ignorance. Why don't you abide by the knowledge? So, but we get identified because of the past impression, because of the ignorance, because of our wrong perception, lot of other stuff, whether you say impurities and delusion and ignorance. So that is why we have to follow this knowledge to live into that stage. Yes, Jerry, what you have to say?
Thank you, sir. I think that abiding in that knowledge and attaching to that knowledge, then we don't have to go back. When we have to go back to the foundation when things get unsettled. So I like that what you said, because it is we sometimes have to go back to the knowledge and hammer the mind.
Yeah.
Because the mind that unwise or unripe ego will always want the shiny objects, more food, sex, whatever it is, money, whatever it is. And so until we'll have to go back, even when we think that we're abiding, that lets us know when we need to hammer the mind again.
Yes. You can conventionally, transactional reality, you can say, yes, I am the body, but at the same time, do I have a simultaneous awareness of understanding that I am using it for transactional purpose? Fact is that I am not the body. You have a clarity. That is what the master says, separate the body. I am tired. Yes, I am tired means, I'm referring it to the energy and it is not me. I am anxious. I'm referring to the mind. I am not anxious. This is simply a thought. Can I declare? When I declare, I am abiding. Where I am abiding? What is permanent? What is permanent? It is understanding. It is knowledge. It is awareness, or you can say it is the permanent entity. It is the pure consciousness. Why it is taking time, that is also becoming clear. Wonderfully said. Barbara, what you have to say? You are awakened. Everyone is awakened today. Yes.
Yeah. I think a lot of it has been said, but I think it's, without being dramatic, it's almost like a death and a rebirth. The more you move away from your emotions and your desires and your body, the more you could raise an awareness.
Symbolically, couple of masters say that awakening is a rebirth. You see the language all our masters have been using differently. So we have to bring it to the context. You rightly said. Yes, it's almost a rebirth. Rebirth means no attachment, no detachment, no anxiety, no duality, no conflict. Internally, you are abiding in that pure consciousness that does not have any anxiety, duality, conflict. So it's almost a rebirth. Where it is here and now. It is you. You are the one. I don't believe it. I have a lot of stress. Finished. You have already changed. Why? Because you are talking of the mind. Christina.
Yeah, my mind is perked up today. I think there's something much deeper in that's landing, even though we've gone over this so many times, but the understanding that we are the consciousness and awareness and attaching to that and catching all the times we're attaching to all the stress and anxiety. It just landed more clearly through the lesson today.
Yeah. Only clearly you are also awakened. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, today's lesson is really given me some information. Our starting point is an awareness. In awareness itself is not suffering. It is clear. In awareness, all the knowledge comes. With that knowledge, we create our attachment. We have trained ourselves since birth, to attach with whatever information we are getting. With that, we are creating that we like this, we don't like this. And we are training ourselves. So with that attachment only, we are suffering with that information that we are getting. But we have never trained ourselves to attach with the awareness. And that's why we are not knowing that awareness itself is peace.
Yes. Another master in his teaching, he says you have a cultural, social, religious, family conditioning. You have to decondition everything to return to your original identity. Whether you say original identity is the real self, whether you say it is the rebirth, whether you say it is the permanent entity. So these are the different approaches. And that permanent entity manifest in impurity is known as bad, impure soul, or whatever we say in the religion. So soul is not, self is not impure. It is impure because of the attachment, because of the conditioning. Terry, you have to contribute something. You are awakened.
It seems to me that
you are awakened
because we're expected to constantly transact, then we're constantly reminded of the delusion. But so we have to really peel away layers and layers constantly of that in order to get down to the fact of what's behind it, which we're never reminded of unless we are in class here.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of if you can maintain that awareness of the awareness.
Yeah, that is
but or are you going to forget sometimes?
You have to peel all your layers of the ignorance, or you can say all the layers that I should identify as changing. Body is one layer, energy is second, emotions is third, the external knowledge is the fourth, identification or ego is the I-ness and my-ness is the fifth. And once you peel all the layers, what is left is the real self. Why? It cannot be removed. That is very existence. That is very existence. Now see how it works. Close your eyes. Even we need not to close our eyes, but just for the sake of practice, eyes are closed. Before the eyes, awareness is there, or after the eyes, awareness is. Think in this way. I'm helping you to move into the higher domain. First is awareness surrounded the eyes, and then eyes were closed. How can you say awareness surrounding the whole eye? Otherwise, you cannot close your eyes. Incidental diversion. I'm giving you, maybe you can say, one of the highest understanding. Really? Yes. Now, when I say notice, what to notice? Notice thought, feeling, emotions, anything that is passing into your mind. Notice. Notice means observe. You heard it. So awareness is before you understand notice. Am I clear? Or instead of awareness, you say consciousness is before you really understand what it means by notice. Observe. And then comes thought, feeling, and emotions, unwelcome, uninvited thought that comes to the mind. You see, three there. One is pure consciousness that does not change. It is as it is there. The space is there. Whether you go to the restroom or kitchen or anywhere, my friend. Understanding, yes. So, yes, consciousness is there. And then when I say notice and observe, that consciousness is reflected into the mind. Because it is the mind has to observe and notice. But the same mind has unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. That is bit typical. Challenging. If we don't live with the higher awareness. How to live with the higher awareness? By the six treasures, by the practice of discernment, by understanding what is permanent and what is not. That is what we have been doing. I believe you and your understanding. So notice, I notice. So three layers. Consciousness, reflected consciousness, that is mind, and in the mind the contents are there. Can I bring in that phrase of the master who says, Yadi deham prathak kritya, if you separate your body from you can apply this phrase also. So what? Content of the mind, reflected consciousness, you separate both. They both are already separate. I have to just know it. Why I don't know it? Because of ignorance. I'm not ignorant, my ego says. Then you are 100% ignorant. If your mind says that you are not ignorant, it means you are 100% ignorant. Okay. So now you see another part that takes place simultaneously. When I say notice and observe, you are already an observer. So the observer is present in the mind and the thoughts are also present in the mind. That observer is your intellect. And unwanted, uninvited thoughts are your. That is the typical mind, where you say pure mind or impure mind. And you continue to contemplate and reflect. Why? Because you want to abide in the pure consciousness. So hence you reflect, you contemplate, you reflect. Oh, next thought comes, next feeling comes, next emotion comes. You are okay, I'm none of them. I'm not them. It's not thought, but you know non-verbally, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. Even when I'm saying it's not me, that is simply a thought, and behind that, I investigate that there is an awareness which is not impacted. I'm re-explaining you. I'm explaining it in a different way. The poise method of meditation. You have done couple of times. POI, investigate, and then S. You find the shift or the space. That is how I explained you pure consciousness. Reflected consciousness is the mind. by which you listen to me, you understand, and then the same mind has unwelcome and uninvited thoughts. Third, do you want to know fourth? Fourth is the object. You cannot have any object without the thought. I can go on, I can link it. I'm holding it now. Only the four levels. Object. You cannot have any thought without an object. I'm angry. Angry is an object. I like pasta. Pasta and liking both are objects. They are objects in the mind, but the subject is the observer. So when I recognize there is a space, separate. They are already separate. Why they are separate? Pure consciousness is unchanging. Mind is keeps on changing. Objects are keeps on changing. Thoughts keeps on changing. So I find the space between the two. Why the space between the? Because what is changing and what is unchanging cannot mix them up. We have mixed them. Why we have mixed them? Ignorance and impurity. Delusion. And then E letter embody. You already embody means you abide by the consciousness behind the object first, behind the thoughts and a feeling second, behind the observer third, and then what is behind the observer? It's a consciousness. And what is behind the consciousness? It is only consciousness. It is only consciousness. There is nothing. There is nothing behind. There is a natural silence. Sometimes we say, it is a silent witness, consciousness. It is also says one stage of mindfulness out of the 7 stages, depending on us. So we are unchanging entity. The word is unchanging, cannot be the doer and the enjoyer. You see how these principles are linked. I cannot be the doer and the enjoyer if I am unchanging pure consciousness. One of the greatest ignorance that I claim all the time that I am the doer and the enjoyer. We live our life with that doership and enjoyership. From there also, the moment any thought comes, again just check it, check the sequence. Pure consciousness, reflected consciousness is the mind. It has 2 parts. One is the observer and other is unwelcome, uninvited thoughts. And every thought has an object. And stay there, just live into these 4 layers. Even after awakening, these thoughts may come, but you are not attached to it. You don't abide by it. You are not attached. You don't identify with it. No, I had a dream that awakened people do not have any thought. Then how they can eat the food? How they can go to the restroom unless you have a thought that I'm going to the restroom? Don't create some. My master made it very clear that don't surround yourself with unwanted, unnecessary magic, occult, and crazy thoughts. It is here and now. So you abide by that you abide in that consciousness when? In all the locations. So I have to invoke that consciousness. No, it is already there. The moment you say I have to invoke, behind consciousness is there, so it is already present. In all the location, in all the relationship. So when that consciousness is there behind in all the relationship, where is the problem? There is nothing here to pick and choose. You pick everything that is changing. Why you picked some thought today, just now? Before that, it was not there. So when it was not there before, now it is there. It means it is changing. It means it is not me. And if the thought says I am into anxiety, this is only a thought. I am not the anxiety. Finished. Through the contemplation and reflection, you are done. Finished. Now, I'm not saying you are finished, but impurities are finished. And that demands a lot of practice, a lot of other principles to learn, and that is why I had taken an incidental diversion today. People, start saying, they feel bored. When this awakening bird will come into my head? It is not a bird. It is you. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms and stay there for a while. No, just become aware again. See what happens. Bring the hands down. Ashok will complain that he is not asking from me. Yes, Ashok, you tell me.
Sir, namaste.
Namaste. We have not done namaste. We are just meeting.
So, sir, no, I'm not complaining anything. ठीक है सर, तो ये सर द्विज rebirth is no, it's like a bridge. जैसे कहते हैं ना, bridge हो गया, दूसरा जन्म हो गया. So when we are aware, then it is like a bridge.
Yes, rebirth is nothing but you get rid of all your ignorance, layers of the ignorance. You have peeled it layer by layer. What is left is absolute consciousness. I am. I abide by absolute consciousness means that I am that. I am the existence, consciousness, and bliss. That's almost a rebirth. Now you don't get carried away by your anxiety, reaction, duality, and a conflict. That is an end of the suffering. So do you think that the rebirth is that your sex will change?
No, sir.
Huh?
No, nothing physically changes.
No, sometimes we dream, if my sex will change, I will enjoy more. You are again fall into ignorance. So yes, Sangeeta, how are you?
सर पहले तो गुरुदेव की कृपा से सब काम बहुत अच्छे से हो गया.
Good.
और सर देखो 4-5 दिन पहले तक स्ट्रेस था मुझे, और उस बीच में भी मैं हर दिन ध्यान करती थी तो रिलैक्स थी.
आज मुझे फीवर है बॉडी फिजिकल लेवल पे, लेकिन मुझे मेंटल लेवल पे रिलैक्सेशन है और नॉलेज जो है वो एज इट इज है।
Beautiful.
तो मतलब
Beautiful. Well, she's saying that she got her son married just a couple of days ago, and she was able to maintain awareness in spite of the stress in the mind. That's a sign of the progress. And then yes, today she has a fever, but she was participating in meditation. Yes, it is 100% possible. I have tried hundred of times. I had an extreme fever and I said, oh, let me sit into meditation. Fever has gone. But it has returned after that. Then I went to the doctor and got texted, it's some infections. So they gave me the pills, It doesn't mean that you are treating the path of awakening and spirituality and, no, doctor, I will not take pill because I am a spiritual seeker. No, you are crazy. You have to apply the knowledge whenever it is ready. Some people go for fasting. No, we are not going there. Oh, you do the fasting. I see the blue color and red color. No. Pure knowledge, pure understanding, pure awareness. When I say the real self is absolute existence, consciousness, bliss, I don't say, masters are saying, absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. We will abide into that absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. That is known as awakening. Yes, Vaibhav.
Thank you, sir. So mind was calm. It's like in practice, many times I've seen that when I go and there's some thought and there's some attachment, when I come out, that thought may be there, but the attachment goes away. And when the attachment goes away, that problem that I'm facing, maybe that jitteriness in the body or some anxiety, it will not be there. It will be totally calm and relaxed.
That is a great recognition and realization. You see, can I live into that state? You are in anxiety, or this is, you go behind it, you recognize it, finished. I can bet you. You have an ego, you recognize it is an ego, it will go away. But it is not going away, it is an intellectual understanding. Yes, I'm just going from going from one direction to the other. I won't say bottom to the top. Terry.
I was having a lot of thoughts that I'm, and at the same time I was aware of your words. At the same time, I felt like I was, I don't know how to explain, like moving backwards.
Yeah, stepping
like
back.
Moving through space.
Yeah.
Spinning backwards.
Yes, yes.
And above the bed a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're not the body. I have a lot of photographs of myself at different ages. And I look and I go, who's that? That's me. And then I look at myself now and I'm completely different.
Yes.
You know. So.
Yes.
Oh, I'm good.
I know you are good. We have been witnessing you for almost a year. I think it has almost a year. It gives me so much of happiness that you are happy. So you are peeling the layers by layers. So you are going behind it. So what happens in this journey? The mind suddenly enters into the state minus attachment and delusion. So then it has unusual experiences and it may harm us. But because we are following a structured and systematic approach, there is no harm in it. That's why I say that attending my session will not have any harm into it. That is why we are learning. That is why we follow the systematic approach. So there is no harm in it. Yes, Barbara.
Listening to you with my eyes closed is like a whole different experience because I'm absorbing everything you say in a different way and I'm remaining completely calm at the same time.
Beautiful. Yes, it is possible. It is not that my words made you calm, it is your awareness that withdraws from the attachment, from the identification. And that knowledge, you abide in that knowledge. That is what happens. And that is beautiful. But sometimes we become, no, I will not say no, otherwise the Ashok will. Yes, David and Jerry, how are you? Ashok will be upset, We should not be hypocrite, I am listening to you, sir, but I'm listening to my honey in my mind. I'm not listening. So we should not do that. Yes, David.
Thank you. The kind of like Barbara, the high level of awareness to your words left me just very peaceful, unattached bliss. So thank you.
Beautiful. That proves Eastern wisdom proves it again and again. The knowledge removes the ignorance and it brings an end to the suffering. No activity is required. We had those flashes, but we have to make it permanent. Yes, Jerry.
Thank you. It was a deep meditation. The pointers of just always recognizing the space, noticing the observer, noticing what's known, that all kind of slows us down and keeps us present. And then the point where you mentioned the doer and the enjoyer, I think that those two things, if we can notice when we might be focused on being the doer and the enjoyer, instead of in the awareness of existence, consciousness, and bliss, that would end our suffering right there.
Beautiful, yes. The water does not perform an action. It is stirring of the wind and that wind. But the impression of the wave is already present in the water. So the impression is present in the mind. That makes me the doer and the enjoyer. But behind that, there is a pure consciousness. It has nothing to do with anything. Doer and the enjoyer, you remain. Even while speaking, if I remain independent inside, because that consciousness does not change. I may feel exhausted at the physical level, at the mental level, at the emotion, but consciousness is behind that. That state we have to reach to. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good, sir. Thank you very much. When you said to close our eyes, the Ananda came into my mind, and I said Ananda is permanent.
Yeah.
And I, with my eyes closed, I had several visions and several thoughts during the meditation, and it was an instantaneous awareness that that's a vision, and it evaporated immediately. And when the thought came, I became instantaneously aware of that thought, and the thought went away. And now in hindsight, after listening to others who shared, it was, I get the idea that if you just focus on the awareness of what's permanent, everything else just goes away.
Yes.
And I'm more calm now and relaxed than I've been in any other meditation that I've enjoyed for all the years that we've been doing this. So Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Yes. that the word, that phrase that you used, instantly, instant away, it is already there because the mind is veiling it because of the lot of the thoughts, feeling, and understanding. So I'm not able to see. The moment you are instantly aware and you are abiding into that awareness, finished. You are right. Knowledge ultimately brings an end to the suffering. And that gives you the whole new perspective in our life. Very good. Understanding. How are you, Dennis?
A lot of contemplation and reflection was going on in the beginning of the meditation, and then the mind turned to the dark space inside, focused there, remained there, detached from everything else, and it was very peaceful. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, yes. So if we have to continue to reflect and contemplate, the more we do it, the mind drops all the layers of the ignorance layer by layer, and what cannot be left is what we are. That is what the permanence is. That is all for today. Thank you very much for meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Namaste,
sir.
everyone.
Namaste.